Call to order.
All set, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm now going to call the Wednesday, July 20th,
Where are we?
2022 meeting of the Norfolk County Commissioners to order. On Thursday, March 12th, 2020, Governor Charles Baker issued an order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20. That order was effective immediately and until it is rescinded or the state of emergency is terminated on July 17th, 2022. By action of the legislature, that order was extended until March 31st, 2023.
Right.
So we are on live and on Zoom today. I'm going to
Okay.
call a roll and then salute the flag. Commissioner Stady.
I'm present.
Commissioner Collins.
Present.
Commissioner Shea is present. We have a quorum. If everyone could stand and join us in saluting the flag.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag
Of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Oh, there we are.
I shut the TV off and said, turning it off.
Oh, okay. That will do it every time.
I wanted a nice round.
Tempting.
Thank you. Item number 3, minutes of the open session meeting of July 13th, 2022 for approval.
I'll move approval of the meeting minutes of July 13, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion made and second to approve the minutes of the July 13 meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
It is unanimous. Folks, number 4 was a scheduled executive session pursuant to the open meeting law to discuss labor matters. Our Labor Council apologizes after trying to make it. She cannot make it, so I'll take a motion to, actually, I don't think we need a motion, but there'll be no executive session today, but I promise I'll probably try, I hope to get it on next week if possible. We have a couple of items that we need to be brought up to speed on. And I guess we were going to do a review of all contracts, so. And one other item that's pending here, so
Okay.
we're looking to do it to next week. So there'll be no executive session today, no discussion. Number 5, public comment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
There he is.
There we go.
Hey, Mike.
Welcoming the treasurer. Good afternoon,
Treasurer
treasurer.
Bellotti is here.
Treasurer.
This afternoon, I'd like to present to the commissioners the opportunity to recognize Jean McLeish, who you all know is retiring this Friday after 20 years with the county. Jean's service to the county has been phenomenal. She's probably one of the most recognized people that works in this office. Pleasure to work with her. We prepared a certificate from you to Jean
Yeah, nice.
for your endorsement. We would obviously like to recognize her today in the ceremony. Yes, please. In addition, we have another recognition that on the same date, Michael Osman, our electrician, will be retiring. Mike is not here today. I believe he intends to come back next week to meet with you and also be publicly recognized for his long-term service to the county. Let me grab Jeannie real quick and we can give her your certificate.
Nice.
You want to read it, Joe? Sure. This is the first time we've done these. They're very nice.
Yeah, they're really nice.
Yeah.
Good move.
I don't know, this Billy, who did this? He's a,
Yeah.
order him. We'll find him.
Good touch, you know?
Yeah.
Like towns get plaques, that's a good thing.
Hey, come here.
Yes, it is.
Right up front.
Jean.
If you don't bring her in, she can't retire.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a rule.
I changed my mind.
All right.
You know, as I look at this, Jane, before I say anything official, unofficially, I may add, you will never hold the record because I can't state the record, but going way back, even Commissioner Collins has been here for more than 20 years and his father, et cetera. But just think, you won't have Norfolk County Commissioner meetings to go to every week.
I can do Zoom at home and watch you guys.
Well, that's true. You can Zoom, but it's not the same as being here. So, doing 20 years of anything is a feat these days. And if you're ready to go, you're ready to go. And I think you and I have discussed it and, you appear ready to go because you still have a lot of life to live and a lot of places to go. And now that COVID is gone, hopefully you can get to all of them. But we want to say congratulations. We have this small plaque, which is by no means, it's just a token of our appreciation, although I don't know that, I think whether Director Cronin or Billy devised this, but they are very nice looking and
Very nice.
let me read it. It's a certificate of appreciation presented to Gene McLeish, the Norfolk County Commissioner's Office. It's sincere congratulations on your retirement after 20 years of service in the County Commissioner's Office. We extend to you our heartfelt thanks and appreciation for all your efforts, and we wish you and your family the best of health and continued success in your future endeavors. Given this 20th day of July 2022, and it's signed by Peter Collins, County Commissioner, Richard Stady, County Commissioner, and myself, Joe Shea. So I'm going to give you this token. I wish there was a $10,000 check in there, but
Well,
it's
thank you.
in the mail. The check is in the mail.
Give it
Okay.
the big.
And
Along with the beautiful clock that we used to get.
we used to, we
Told, yeah.
appreciate it. Did Brandy give clocks?
Oh, yeah.
Peter may remember that. I was told by Nancy that Commissioner O'Brien used to give clocks.
Oh, really?
And he'd
Well,
say a poem.
Yes.
Oh, really?
I wish I remembered it too.
Oh.
yeah, he
The
was
Irish.
good.
The Irish at the end.
I've been present when he's done his poems.
What kind of a clock? Was it like a little miniature clock? A little,
No, it was like one of these
really?
things. Yeah. They were nice, but I appreciate this very much so. Michael.
Well, maybe we should have
Thank you.
someone investigate a token of some manner. We'll backfill it.
I know, just the first.
I mean, we don't have a lot of retirees, but, we have two this month.
Yeah.
And we'll be honoring our Mike Osman at next week's meeting, but he can't be here this week, but it's been on my mind and this is a step up from what we would used to do. So
Well, it was a pleasure working with you,
Well,
Peter, for over 20 years, and Commissioner Stady, and of course, Commissioner Chairman Shea, and the new director, John.
That was our pleasure. My pleasure. Love working with you.
he really knew compared to the rest.
I told Jeannie it was
Lot of-
too short a time. I did enjoy working with you, but you were always very courteous, very polite, very efficient.
Right.
You were always right there. So we're gonna miss you, but we wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
So you had a lot of fun years ahead of you.
I think what I realized about Jean, other than being so capable, is she had that knack of greeting and treating the public in the manner in which it should be treated.
Yeah.
Sometimes your phone calls or people coming in, they don't have the best to say about government, or they don't have the best thought coming through the door, but it came naturally to you, I think, to neutralize them, to make them feel at home. And that's a talent that you obviously had before you came here, but it's to be recognized because
Appreciate it.
you're in the right business, so to speak.
The
And
way
I
I
don't
was
know where you
brought
worked before. I never.
There you go.
Discuss it with you, but again, as we talked about before, when you're ready to go, it's important, and it's important to go on your own terms because
Gotta do it as long as we have our health and now we're
that's
given
right. Some
age.
people don't have, some people
Exactly.
can't do it, and then they say, I should have done this, I should have done that. So
Well,
best wishes.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
And there's cake after this.
Jeannie, one
Yeah.
thing, I just want to say that, so for all the years that you were here, you're always manning the front door. And it was really nice to walk through the door. I think everyone here would say, you walk through the door, hi Jeannie, how are you?
Right.
And a big smile, and that was the way you greeted all of us, and you greeted the public, and it was a nice start to our day every time we walked through the door, so thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.
All right, Jeannie. David?
Bye.
You-
Incidentally, Commissioners, we are pursuing a temp worker to fill that role that Commissioner Collins just mentioned. We should have somebody here on Monday. Michelle's working on that out.
Okay.
Michael
Thank you.
Osman coming in too, or is it?
He's coming in next week
Okay. I got it.
with Toby.
Okay.
Number 6, appointments. I have none. Number 7, old business, I have none. Number 8, personnel matters for consideration. We have several here. They're kind of housekeeping measures, four in the IT department and one at the Ridge Deeds and one at the golf course. Need a motion, Commissioner Stady.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I move the following for consideration of Norfolk County Administration. First, notice of transfer for Daniel Caparata of Norwood from the Registry of Deeds to Information Technology Technical Support at the rate stated effective 7/1/2022.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. A notice of transfer of Daniel Caparata from Registry of Deeds to the new Information Technology Department. All in favor?
Aye.
Number two.
Second motion, Mr. Chairman, notice of contingent employment transfer for Cole Capabianco of Walpole from Registry of Deeds, Information Technology, temporary IT clerk. I'm confused here. Let's say notice of contingent employment transfer for Cole Capabianco of Walpole, from Registry of Deeds to Information Technology as information clerk with the rate stated effective 7/1/22.
Second.
Motion made and seconded on the transfer of
IT
Cole
transfer.
Caparata from the Registry of Deeds to the new IT department. All in favor?
Aye.
Next one.
Third, notice of transfer from Mark McDonald of Westwood, Mass. from Commissioners Administration to Information Technology as Network Administrator for the rate stated effective 7/1/22. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded on the transfer of Mark McDonald from the Commissioner's Administration to the new IT department. All in favor?
Aye.
These three transfers are all in-house from one department to another to reflect the new IT department and the changes in the new fiscal 23 budget.
Correct.
One more.
Notice of retirement for Jean McLeish of Dedham as Administrative Assistant, and her effective date retirement is 7/22/22. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to accept the retirement of Jean F. McLeish of Dedham, Mass. as Administrative Assistant City in the County Commissioner's Office. All in favor?
Aye.
Here you go.
One more in the Registry of Deeds.
Right, Registry of
I'm
Deeds.
sorry, there's two more here.
Yeah, that's right. Mr. Chairman, on the Registry of Deeds, the notice of resignation of Michelle Lane of Uxbridge, Mass. as head clerk. Her effective date is July 16, 2022. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to accept the resignation of Michelle E. Lane as head clerk in the Registry of Deeds. All in favor?
Aye. And the last one, Mr. Chairman, Wollaston Recreational Facility, notice of contingent employment for Michael Costello of Quincy as seasonal grounds crew employee with the rate stated effective 7/21/22. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded on the contingent employment of Michael Costello at the Wollaston Recreation Facility. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. This completes the personnel matters for today. Next, payroll and expense warrant
Yes,
for approval.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner
with
State.
your permission, I'll move the following for approval. Warrant list of July 20, 2022. Number one, 23-3, payroll of the county of the amount of $166,964.08. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote.
Second one, 23-03, APA, Town of Braintree, receiving the amount of $1,068,399. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote.
And the last one for this week, Mr. Chairman, 07/03/23, the expense of the county, the amount of $183,614.72. So moved.
Second.
Mr. Chairman.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It
That
is a vote.
concludes that, Mr. Chairman.
Number 10, opera warrant for approval.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This afternoon, for the Commissioner's consideration, as Commissioner Stady just mentioned, before you is an ARPA award to the Town of Braintree. I believe this is their second award, totaling $1,068,399.04. I observed Nicole Taub from Town of Braintree
Hi, Nicole.
is with us this afternoon. Hello, Nicole. How are you?
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Before I proceed, I'd just like to explain to the Commissioners that this particular award is related to community violence interventions. The Town of Braintree has submitted considerable statistics and information that indicates that due to increases and violence and so forth within the community. The ARPA grant will be used to offset and reimburse the community for expenses up to and including the $1,068,399.04 as submitted. So I think respectfully through you, Mr. Chairman, we can turn it over to Nicole for her thoughts on receiving this grant and how effective it will be for the town of Braintree.
Nicole, any comments on this grant?
Just again, to reiterate on behalf of Mayor Kokoris, myself, and the entire town of Braintree, thank you to the county for making these funds available. And also thank you to the auditors who were incredibly helpful as we kind of navigated through the process in order to utilize the funds to cover some previous COVID-related expenditures that we made through the police department. So thank you.
Just for kicks. I'll show you this, Nicole. We thought you might be coming to the beautiful town of Dedham
But we'll
today.
catch up to that.
Oh,
No, we'll catch up to
oh.
We had something prepared for you, but we can definitely, Chairman Shea, catch up with you and make it a little bit bigger next time.
Oh, well, thank you. I do believe we have another request fast moving through the pipeline. So I will certainly make sure that we are there in person in Dedham to greet you that day.
That'd be great.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Okay, how about a motion, Commissioner Stady, for the town of Braintree?
I'll be glad to. Mr. Chairman, I'll move the approval of the opera award to the town of Braintree in the amount of $1,068,399. The funds will be directed into the area of community health and public health for the reasons outlined in the application and approved and read this day. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the opera grant award to the town of Braintree in the amount of $1,078,000 in change. I don't forget that. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, it is a vote. We'll wait for your next application. The check's in the mail.
Thank you,
Thank
Nicole.
you. Thank you very
All right.
much.
Thank you.
everybody.
So long.
Take care.
Thank you.
Next, in your packet is a memorandum. I just handed it to Peter. It is a yearly piece of business that we do. It's a Norfolk County Public Employee Memorandum and Agreement for your approval and signature. I believe everyone has signed this morning. It's made between the county commissioners in their capacity and the Norfolk County Public Employees Committee, which is a member from all the member groups that we represent, that are our members. I noticed the school has signed, I noticed the engineers have signed, I noticed the registry has signed, and the maintenance unit has signed. And they have a retirees, a representative who is the former personnel person, Ann Brown. She hasn't signed yet, but it's pretty much in order. I think it's a yearly
It is
document.
completed. It comes up every 3 years, Commissioner. This particular agreement will be good through June 2025.
Every 3 years, okay? It's not yearly, okay?
Is there
Okay, I don't
anything-
know if you
Do we
need,
need to vote this or
Yes.
sign
I
this?
believe so, yes.
So, Mr. Chairman, with your permission, I'd move that we execute and endorse the memorandum of agreement by and between the Norfolk County Commissioners and the Norfolk County Public Employee Committee, which has been presented for our approval of this date and contained in the document presented at this meeting. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded.
Oh, it said document to expire, was it June
June 30th,
30,
2025.
2025? Right.
Motion made and seconded to approve the Norfolk County Public Employee Committee's memorandum of agreement for a term of 3 years. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. Number
Which one
12,
did we sign? Oh, we already signed it.
You already signed it.
Okay. All right.
request from Register of Deeds, William P. O'Donnell for a supplemental appropriation for a fiscal year 23 budget for legal fees. I'll draw attention to a July 7th letter delivered to us from Register O'Donnell explaining this request, and Register is here. I'm gonna ask him to come up and I'm gonna open this for discussion. It's a request again for $60,000 from Registry of Deeds dedicated deeds excise revenue into main group 2, subgroup 235, legal fees. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. How are you? Commissioners.
This is a pro forma, or, no, it's pro forma, but this is just what I said, a request for additional money in the following group, which I said, and it's for $60,000. And it's from the deeds dedicated excise revenue. This, for those that are listening, it requires our approval, and it requires the approval of the advisory board. Would, should it pass, it would be on the next agenda of the advisory board. And I guess that's the best explanation. Register, the floor is yours.
Well, the request came over on July 7th, try to get the request over early into the fiscal year because, as we know, there's been, litigation and, bills will be coming in and need to be paid. And so, clearly, it's really for us an access to justice issue as far as getting the bills paid. You saw in the letter. For instance, our legal budget as of July 1st was $7,000. And, it's obvious there's been some legal issues and that's why it's needed. I mean, even after the IT vote on May 11th, I got notice to get deposed. So, you turn that over to the attorney. So that's what needs to happen. So. Again, the deeds excise has been healthy. I know you got the close of June 30th between the transaction fees and the deeds excises. There was a lot of activity, a lot of money, a lot of surplus. Deeds excise, notwithstanding some of the decreases in sales, the sale prices have been high. So that continues to be vibrant.
Any questions, Commissioner? Any comments?
If I may,
Sure.
Mr. Chairman, through you, of course, through the chair. So first, the transfer is to take funds from the registry of deeds, dedicated deeds excise. This is basically the amount that you get. It's like, I know this, we get into your share, our share, but this is from your dedicated deeds.
Completely. Any request we made is completely from the registry
Okay,
share.
right, I understand that.
Thank
And so you're just basically asking to transfer within your own department, the funds.
Well, to fund this, we're taking it from the deeds excise, of which, as you account, most of it goes to the state, but of the roughly 10 point something percent, the county gets 60% of that, and we get 40%,
Right,
and that's
understood.
where we're getting the monies from.
Okay, second question, if I may, Mr. Chairman.
Sure.
Again, maybe fair, unfair, but I'm just wondering, is the 60,000, Mr. Registrar, is that an amount you anticipate, or is that a bill you have to pay, or where did that come from?
I don't have any bills at the moment, but really what it comes from is recognizing who knows where this takes us. I mean, we're not in the business of litigation. In fiscal 20, we spent $9,000. In fiscal 21, we spent $16,000. I know the county has spent a lot. And we're involved with you. I know you have other lawsuits that you're dealing with, and the amount of monies isn't solely on our thing because there's a suit with the town of Walpole, there's a suit with the solar panels and all that. But just looking, I know your request was for 140, and the registry in their interest can't match your 140 with
I
7.
see. Okay, so that's what you meant by that. I was trying to figure out where you were going with that. Okay, that paragraph about the 140, I see.
Clearly.
But you don't actually have an actual bill.
No, any time we get bills, we will get them in right away.
Okay,
When we get a bill, we pay them.
all right. We're pretty limited in terms of what else we can talk about. I guess as an attorney, you can appreciate that, Mr. O'Donnell. Certain guidelines have to be followed, but I think that's all I had at the moment, Mr. Chairman. Okay, that's all I can basically. I wanted to make sure I was clear on the money and why the amount was made the way it was. Okay, all right, good enough.
I had the same question when it says here, that I noticed in the 23 budget that we have 140,000, which is true. But that's
Yeah,
hopefully we can live within that. I guess we haven't been, but hopefully we can. that's everything though. I want everyone to realize that that's collective bargaining, that's existing lawsuits, we're always trying to keep we're always trying to keep an eye on it, keep a rein on it. I mean, earlier today, we had an executive session scheduled to talk about um, uh, collective bargaining and to get a little update, but as I said earlier, Michelle McNulty, our legal counsel on our collective bargaining, was unavailable, but this 140 goes to pay for things like that. And it isn't that we have 140 around just waiting to, excuse me, just waiting to sue people, et cetera, et cetera. So, where does the figure 60 come from? Is it a guesstimate? Is it based on past year or past performance? I know you did 9 and 20 and 16 and 21.
Yeah, we spent in fiscal 20, 9,100, and in fiscal 21, 16,100. I know last year there was the approvals were, I believe, for amounting to 47,000
Okay.
around there, and our budget that was approved has 7,000 in it as of July 1st. So we just wanted to get it out there early that 7,000 isn't going to cover whatever happens.
Oh, Mr. Chairman, can I ask another question?
Sure.
Without getting into the nice. So just to understand the process. Okay. So Mr. O'Donnell, as any department head, is coming forward asking for a transfer. And like any transfer, irrespective of Mr. O'Donnell, we can accept it, deny it, or can we modify it as well? Can we come back and say, this amount maybe seems excessive, may come back with a different amount? I'm just asking hypothetically. And with any, if John McGowan came in or somebody else, we have the purview to look at that and say, based on past performance, this might be a bit high. Is that something we were able to do?
I think you can try it. I think we do have the purvieue to do that.
Okay. Just exploring options.
I'm reticent to answer it without checking, but
Okay.
I'm not.
It's, like I said, we're limited what we can say and not say. I just, it's a tricky situation. I'm trying to wrestle my head about the idea. You made the note for the record, and good point. Thank you for doing that. That our amount does involve in an awful lot of other things. It's not just the unfortunate ongoing suit with your area. It involves the public relations, the negotiations. It involves the work situation. And it involves other things that come up.
I mean, when
Yeah.
these folks come and
Yeah,
make these changes in the town, they have to go through the engine department. They're all done by our attorney also.
Right.
I'm sure we can
our
bill for all that.
Our amount is excessive, not excessive. It's based upon several other areas,
Correct.
not just
That's
particular.
correct.
So I was
That's my
trying,
point.
I was trying to figure out, is
And then I was-
60,000
To
appropriate?
get the 47,000 figure is where I
Yeah.
was going also, which
Okay.
is last year. And that's
Yeah.
what-
All right.
I'll make
Okay.
a motion, we take it under advisement.
on the
Okay,
motion.
I'll second that.
Okay, on the motion to take under advisement the request from Register O'Donnell for $60,000 from the registry deeds dedicated revenue into main group subgroup 225 to pay legal fees. Motion to take it under consideration. All in favor? Aye, it is unanimous. We will get back to you. Register O'Donnell.
All right, thank you, Mr. O'Donnell.
Next item. 12. That was a 12, I'm sorry. Bid openings at 1:30, we have none. We're right on time, too.
Yeah,
Number 14, contract awards, we have none. Number 15, approval of memorandum of understanding for the federal burn grant, BYRNE, between the county of Norfolk and the city of Quincy, the city of Weymouth, and their respective police departments. It's in your packet. I will ask Director Cronin for a one-sentence explanation. I believe in my time, we've done this one other time. There is a letter in here explaining what the burn grant is.
I have mine. Do you need it? You know that?
Oh, here it
Yeah,
is.
there you
Oh,
go.
maybe I can do it.
Yeah.
This is a Justice Assistant Grant, local solicitation, and this is a memorandum of understanding between the cities and towns and police departments of Quincy, Weymouth, and Norfolk County. The agreement is made on the 6th day of July. It says the Norfolk County Commission is acting as chief executive officer of the county, accepts the above memorandum of understanding and waives all fiduciary rights and responsibilities associated with the grant. The commission has read the solicitation and supports this application. It's $50,547 to be spent between Quincy getting $35,502, Weymouth getting $14,044, and administrative costs of $1,000. Total $50,547. Somehow Uncle Sam in his wisdom
Do you want
said that we have some sign off power on
This is the
that.
official one. right
This is
there.
actually a state
Hmm?
grant. This is actually a state grant.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, the Commonwealth and it's great.
Give Mr.
Wisdom.
Chairman that. Yeah, there you go.
I'm sure any questions, commissioners, any comment? I'm sure we're happy
Mr. Chairman, if
to.
I could ask.
Sure.
Assistant Director Bill Buckley to weigh in. He's obviously our regional services director, has worked directly with these communities on this for the last several years. Bill, if you want to add anything to it.
We had one before, didn't we?
Yeah, so
I
this is
believe
an
we did, yes.
annual, it's sort of it is good. It's a grant through the Bureau of Justice Assistance. It was named after a officer who perished. He was quite young in New York City in the 1980s. But in order for a community to become eligible for a burn grant, you need a certain level of violent crime within that community. So last year it was Quincy, Weymouth, and Randolph
Randolph, that's
were
right.
involved. Generally, so it's a memorandum of understanding between the local municipalities and their police departments. It is spearheaded by Quincy's Sergeant Hurton, who I believe is a fan favorite, and Chairman Shea has worked with closely in the past. Quincy generally administers the grant. We do not have a law enforcement arm anymore as a county, so the county because of the statute, we're party to these grants. So we have to enter into the MOU, but we do not do any of the administration. It's sort of a small dollar amount. The administration costs and these funds go into things like community policing, crime prevention, things like, for example, the cameras, you see it down at the South Shore Plaza now in the Braintree Mall parking lot, things like that. It could be used for. It's a fairly successful program. It's a small dollar program, but while we would rather not qualify for it, we do, and we're grateful to work together with our partners in Quincy and Weymouth on that. And this has been a number of years that they have qualified.
I do recall when I first got on the board, you mentioned Randolph. You said it targets certain communities, the level of
And it's a year over year.
a year. Yeah,
If
yeah.
those things shift, their eligibility shifts as well.
But for you, Mr. Chairman, of course.
Sure.
Would our sheriff department be interested in something like this? Worcester County? Could they be involved in some way? Or,
It's formulaic, and it goes right to the local police departments
police department?
that
Okay.
do sort of prevention and enforcement as opposed to corrections.
Hmm.
There are other federal grants, and obviously the treasurer could speak to them all day long for sort of for corrections and
Right.
sheriff's departments.
Could I ask Mike that question? Is that fair? When you were sheriff, did you ever participate in any of those kind of grants like this?
Yeah, the youth camp down in Braintree Alternative Center, which you folks were so gracious in partnering with me about 20 years ago, was a product of a burn grant for
Okay.
about $400,000.
Oh, there you go. But that's
And
coming
we had all
up.
kinds of grants at the TR around
Yeah.
reentry and even internal programs around federal programs that sometimes, most of the time, ran through the state.
So how did you know about it? Because you were Quincy? You quit? I'm just wondering how we can get our own sheriff, the new sheriff, to be involved with this maybe and look at
I don't know
something.
what the mechanism is. I mean, because I was more aligned with you guys, even though that grant, I don't think you guys even were signatories on it. I think I used the police chiefs or something.
Okay.
It was right after 9/11, I think. And so that money was out there. Yeah, at any given time, they can have $1 million to $2 million worth of grants up there. So they're very well versed in how to write and pursue and manage these grants.
And the camp was great. They did a great job of that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're gonna celebrate 20 years Thursday night.
I saw that.
So I'm gonna, say a couple of words. Pat's gonna talk about how he's expanding the program in Franklin and other areas. You know what we should have done years ago? But we'll talk the Aggie School. We should have put one there in collaboration. Now that'd be a good grant. You get some federal money, it's educational, it's public safety, it's at-risk kids, and you bring in like those 6 or 7 towns in the middle of the county. If it fits, maybe, potentially their curriculum or something they'd be excited about.
Never too late. Good thoughts, right? That's why I asked. Good. Thank you. Thank you.
As treasurer, I'll sign off on that. He's my,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So this afternoon, Chairman Shea will be looking for a motion to approve or to have the commissioners approve you as the Chief Executive Officer / County Commissioner Chair to endorse this memorandum of agreement.
I'll make that motion.
You made the motion. I second the motion that the
Joe,
county commissioners endorse the memorandum of understanding as presented and read by the chair, effective 6th of July, 2022, for the amount of $50,547.
20th of July.
Whoops.
Correction.
That's it.
Yeah, it's
Oh, okay, my mistake. It is the 20th. I saw the 6th on this piece of paper. We'll make it the 20th and so move it.
Motion made and seconded. Approval of memorandum of understanding for a federal burn grant between the county of Norfolk, city of Queens, and the city of Weymouth. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Nice job, Phil.
Excellent. I'll get this to Sergeant Hurton so she doesn't come looking for me. There we go. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank
Number
you.
16, in your packet, Commissioners, is a letter from the Dedham Pee Wee Football Association. They're asking for the civic rate for a golf tournament, which is going to be held on August 19th, 2022 at President's Golf Course. It says, dear Commissioners, the Dedham Pee Wee Football Association is the youth flag and tackle football program for the community of Dedham. This year, we will be kicking off a charity fundraiser in the form of a golf tournament at President's Golf Course on 8/19/22. Due to the nature and role of this event in supporting football in the community of Dedham, we respectfully request the civic rate for golf associated with this event.
I assume this has always been checked with our.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So with pleasure, Mr. Chairman, I would move that we grant to the Pee Wee Football Association, Inc. of Dedham, that we give them the courtesy rate for their proposed golf event to be held at the President's Golf Course on August 19th at 7:30 a.m.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. Good luck to the Dedham Pee Wee football. Number 17. Robert, presentation from the RSVP coordinator, Robert Pearson, relative to volunteer luncheon and the program update. Good afternoon, Robert.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Good to see you all and give you a brief update on our upcoming luncheon. 3 weeks from tomorrow is Thursday, August 11th. Between 12 and 2:30, we expect to have 110 to 120 volunteers coming to a catered recognition luncheon, and we'll present volunteer awards. We'll be outdoors under a tent. Hope to hear from each of you on if you are going to be able to come. There's obviously an opportunity to meet and greet our constituents, but this is the closest we're coming to, our larger events since prior to COVID. Secondly, because things are opening up more, we are looking in the fall to have a veterans pinning ceremony where we give a AmeriCorps seniors pin to volunteers who are serving veterans, veterans and non-veterans serving veterans. We've tended to have these events in Dedham or Weymouth in the past. Perhaps we could have one in the fall in Quincy, but I'm open to your input, Commissioners, on where you might want to hold, what veteran meeting hall we can approach in what town for a veteran pinning ceremony. And I'm open to any questions that you have.
Commissioners, any questions of Robert Pearson, our RSVP coordinator?
Robert, you're doing a great job. That was your fastest presentation yet. You should be applauded.
Thank you. I work to keep it short.
Looking to see what you have in August, Robert, and
Yeah, I'll be there.
I'll get back to you on the veterans. I had a couple of ideas, but that's good to know. That's great.
Good for you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
I'm gonna ask Director Cronin to weigh in here before I mention, oh, you're gonna mention, that's good.
Right. Robert, if you would like to just add one piece of information for the commissioner's benefit, I know working with Chris and Bill Buckley, we used our Twitter account and promoted the need to expand our recruitment for additional volunteers. Now might be a good time to double down on that request. It's in your newsletter, but I thought you might want to take the chance to offer some details on those needs.
Okay, thank you, John. Norfolk County Rides for Vets program is in very high demand. We pride ourselves on being able to meet most every need that is put out to us. We're back up to giving about 70 rides a month, which is significant, and we need more drivers. We limit the number of rides we get to 1 ride per week per veteran. And we, I'd say, meet about 95% of the requests. So that's our foremost volunteer need right now. And I understand that Chris has met with Bill, and I appreciate hearing that the county is going to help put out some kind of letter. I don't know much more about it, John, in terms of what Bill and Chris have developed. I know it's in process of getting the word out more, but that's primarily my understanding.
Yep, they're putting in some local newspapers and tweeting it out as well. So just try to expand your ask. So
Thank you.
that's all, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Okay, well, we have a Commissioner Stady.
No, I meant,
Okay.
thank you.
Last call. Robert, we're all looking at the summer 22 newsletter. It looks good.
Great job.
I'm great. I'm glad you have it.
Okay, we're back.
You're
on
welcome.
track. And we're due August 11th up at Endicott Estates. Thank you.
Great.
you.
So it sounds like Commissioner Stady and our chair are coming. Peter, do you have any idea if you'll be coming?
Yeah, I should be there.
Great. Good to know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Robert.
All right, number 18, report on the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So in addition to the Braintree grant, which you awarded today, there are a couple of other grants, as Nicole alluded, that are creeping into the queue. We watch them every week. We troubleshoot any problems that might be coming up. The town of Randolph, I'm happy to report, has reached out to us this past week and asked for some guidance. It looks like Brian's looking to put, you may recall this from our meeting with him last fall.
Yeah.
He's looking to put the whole award into the shared costs of that is it a water treatment plant?
Mhm.
He wanted some assistance, technical assistance from Clifton Larson, so we put him in touch with them. So we expect to see Randolph's grant moving in. Brookline, Assistant Director, bless you, Mike. Assistant Director Bill Buckley has reached out to Brookline. We intend to have them in early August, the state rep and perhaps some selectmen, to talk about Brookline's overall strategy. We're also promoting the need for them to possibly have 1 or 2 grants available for approval the same day. So we'll try to coordinate with them if they're ready. So Bill has spoken to their fiscal director on that. So while we are actively working on the ground with all our partners, one of the things that I wanted to bring to your attention today was a concept that I've begun to put together after listening to some of the interest that the commissioners have for providing grant programs and funding through the commissioner's office to our communities. And one of the ideas that kind of surfaced is the need that I think is quite present in our community relative to the elderly population in Norfolk County. As commissioners understand, our population in Norfolk County has trended upwards, and it is now over 706,000 people, and about 100,000 are individuals over 65 years of age. The commissioners may be aware that our general law, our legislation, Chapter 34, Section 14A, does permit the commissions to appoint an associate commissioner for affairs concerning the elderly. This position would be a 1-year authority. You can reappoint them, but the effect is that through the appointment, this associate commissioner would act as an ombudsman for senior citizens and elderly agencies within the county. Looking into some of the areas within Norfolk County that were hard hit, I think we understand that during the pandemic, many elders suffered from social disconnect, homebound, depression, and other psychological impacts that were acutely impacting that community, as well as the downstream effect on hospitalizations, the isolations that they felt at end of year care, and so forth. So one of the concepts that I'd like to put forward today is the idea that using an associate commissioner and perhaps a government advocate to partner with this individual, we could put together a program to size up the programmatic needs within Norfolk County that are not currently being met. And that's important because when you look at the final rule, one of the things they place under the public health and economic initiative is to ensure that we're funding areas that are not already being funded, that were negatively impacted by the pandemic. So we would need some work within the government structure of Norfolk County to navigate what kind of programs have been funded and have the ombudsman then work towards the details of what perhaps we could bring forward to you in the next several months for programmatic needs. So this afternoon, I just want to plant the seed of that concept with you folks, get your feedback now or later, whatever you wish. But since we received the ARPA awards, I think I always quote Commissioner Stady, forgive me if it was you or you, but I remember Commissioner Stady saying we need to put the communities first. And so we've done that. We've got a year under our belt. We're getting ready to accept the second tranche. And as I mentioned, we're starting now to look inward at our programs, both facility-wise and now programmatically. So for your consideration on the ARPA side, I thought that I'd answer that today. Any thoughts or feedback?
I'll have to look at it off the top of my head. I don't have any feedback, but it sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
An associate commissioner, there is a history of associate commissioners. The general law allows for it.
It does. I have the cut here, but I'll yield to our senior commissioner and to note if we've ever had that, but that's the general law that enables that particular position.
We do appoint individuals to be a voting member if we don't have a quorum, but they must be registered in the county and et cetera, et cetera. I think presently Bill Buckley has held it. I know in the past, Director Haggerty sat in on occasion, being a resident of Avon, if there was only one commissioner present. But this is new. I'd have to take a look at it.
I mean, if there's a favorable inclination, I could put pen to paper and develop.
Is that a new law or has that been around for a long time?
I don't know. I'm going to guess it's a legacy item, but I don't know. Do you have any experience using this in your history?
Never used it.
Okay.
Okay. Number 19, report of the county director.
Before we move on, I just wanted to, if you don't mind, Mr. Chairman, I could just go back real quick. I wanted to prove out that following your vote last week, we have moved to place all of the ARPA data on the website. I'll ask Bill to pull it up real quick so you can have a quick view of it. And then we'll move on, if you don't mind, Chairman.
No, go ahead.
Bill, if you wouldn't mind, so as you know, the Norfolk County website is now up. It's running. We're actively updating and creating new content. And this way, under our ARPA budget, you can see, Bill, if you want to scroll down a little bit, this is the pie chart we showed you last week. This is now public, and it lands and shows our awards as of July 13th, 2022. And I believe the town of Braintree's award that was made today is reflected because it was moved into the approved portal last week. So currently, we're looking at just over $20,708,349 awarded, mostly under the infrastructure water sewer program. We are one of the only counties that have elected at this point to place this information public. This morning, I was contacted by the town of Norwood, who wanted to know creatively, what are other county communities doing for ARPA awards, and specifically, what are they doing for revenue loss category projects? And this gives the viewer, in this case, Norwood, a chance to see exactly what purpose area under application type, middle, and then a brief description of what that money would be used towards, and of course, the total amount. No details, right? If they need the details, they can call me. And I've reached out to Emily this morning to let her know I'll be happy to walk her through anything that catches her eye, because we definitely want to share good ideas. So just a quick update, that's up on the website.
Talk about timely, if I can, Mr. Chairman, because I had a brief meeting this morning with an official in Canton, and that's the exact question. They said, we'd like to get a look at what other towns are doing. And I said, I'll get it, and here it is. I'll just go to the website.
There you go.
There it is. That's great. That's great. Well done. That's good. Good stuff.
And again, thanks to Bill Buckley, who's become our webmaster under the new version. He did a nice job pulling that data in.
Very good.
And we'll update that probably monthly at this point.
The Braintree amount, are we over 20 million now? Are we at 21?
Yes, 20, I think I just said 20,700,000.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
And while the treasurer's in the room, July 28th, which is just over a week from now, will be our 1-year anniversary since we received the first tranche.
Mhm.
Joe said he's watching it, Mike, but we're hearing from other communities and counties that the treasury pushes the money to the entity on or about their 1-year anniversary. So I would
Okay.
expect the additional $63 million to hit the treasury maybe next week.
Right, we're looking forward to that. Preparing for that. Thank you.
Yep. All right, that is all. Thank you, sir. I can
Great.
move on to the next portion if you want me to.
Great.
Certainly. Next portion is the report of the county director. John.
Thank you. I'll go quickly of several items. The commission should be aware, I met with representatives from Cusack Associates, that's John Powell and Robert Cusack, last week to discuss the appraisal of the Quincy District Court. As you know, we signed a contract with them. They're at their work currently, and they expect to have an appraisal to the county on or about August 19th. I communicated this to the Department of Capital Asset Management. They were delighted to hear that. And then I asked them, are you doing one? They said they are, which is good. So then we'll have some common information to share with them relative to the value of that property. Tomorrow at 3 p.m., Michelle Labadini and I will be doing an onboarding meeting with Mary Arcardi from the Collins Center. The commission has endorsed the contract to allow the county to update the handbook. So we'll be meeting with the vendor tomorrow to start that process. Let's see. The Great and General Court, as you know, has passed the budget. It is currently with Governor Baker for signature. I believe the commissioners are advised through communication from Bill Buckley that we received an earmark of $75,000 for the Quincy Golf Course Playground. That would be in addition to the $100,000 that the county had funded in its FY22 capital budget. A meeting tomorrow with Carl Miner, Bill Buckley, and I to go over a host of projects that are queued up for this coming fiscal year. And that includes the $50,000 for their maintenance roof replacement, $75,000 plus the $100,000 for the Quincy Playground. I'll get to that in just a second. A $200,000 investment to repave the parking lots. And of course, $80,000 for grounds maintenance. We'll go over those with Carl to make sure he's got an idea of where to progress on those. Go ahead, sorry.
So at the meeting we had with all the counties, I remember I took a little walk around too, and some of those benches are in really bad shape.
They're going to be replaced.
They're going to be replaced as part of
So
this?
yes, you funded, I believe, in the last supplemental, the cost to replace those benches. Nancy informed me we ordered them through MassCorp, which is the State Correctional Industry Program. They're made here in Massachusetts, but there's a little bit of an expectation you got to wait for them. I
Okay,
don't have the delivery date, but yes, they are being replaced.
okay,
I'm going to talk to Carl tomorrow about the plan, not only to replace them, but to anchor them because they're going to get drop shipped. But then we have to make arrangements to install them where the pre-existing bench bases are.
all
So
right, great.
we'll work that out.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no
Thank you.
problem. So with $175,000 now slated for the Quincy Playground, the vendor that we worked with last winter is slated to meet with us next week, likely on site. We do have a rendering. It's quite impressive, but we expect with additional funding to optimize the funding to include perhaps a delineated fence line to keep the children safe and away from various errant balls and fairways and so forth. So we'll use the money effectively to make sure this playground comes out nice. The playground, by the way, is likely to take somewhere between 3 and 4 months, maybe sooner, depending upon how big it gets. And we will try to schedule a groundbreaking through the city of Quincy, because I think through Chairman Shea, there's some interest in possibly having some dignitaries join you and any interested commissioner to be up there when we start the project, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. Let's see, Stoughton District Court, good news. The rooftop units are on. John McGowan has been on site several times. He's been giving me updates. It appears they are at the end of that project. They're literally hooking up the electrical components. They want to do some duct cleaning. The duct work that the units will flow through has been dormant for over 2 years. So before they commission it, they'll need to do that. But for all intents and purposes, the project is at the end of stage work. I'll have a more complete update for you next week. That's great news. Dedham Superior Court, as you can note, the dome has been painted. We are expecting that work to be done by the end of August. They have begun the work, as you noted, on the railings, and that is underway, and I suspect they'll be working on that through the month of August as well. They understand the deadlines to complete these projects is before Labor Day so that we can have a clear path to preparing the property for its dedication in October. Can't remember the date. It's the 16th.
16th, I'll say, I have something to say about that today.
You got it. And final item, two items. The commissioners may recall that back in early March, around March 11th, we were contacted by the state attorney general's office relative to an opioid settlement that was forthcoming. You endorsed, you allowed me to apply for this opioid grant. The funds arrived this week. We received $4,111.93. I will seek input from the commissioners now or at a future date on how to distribute those funds to give you kind of a running start idea of what may be eligible.
How much was it, John? I'm sorry.
4,111.93. 4,000. Yeah.
4,000. Okay.
Yep. The directions or the guidance from the Attorney General's office indicates the funds shall be used solely to supplement and strengthen rather than supplant resources for prevention, harm reduction, treatment, and recovery of opioid addiction. We may elect to share or pool the funds and collaborate on abatement efforts. We may also elect to reallocate to the state opioid recovery and remediation fund some or all of this allocation. As the commissioners ponder the most appropriate use of funds, I just wanted to give you some statistics which we've recently pulled up.
How much did the town of Dedham get?
I don't know. We weren't privy to what the other communities were getting. It was handled by the Attorney General's office, so we didn't get that straight up. For some reason, I don't have the copy of this paperwork with me, but we did run the numbers that showed what the opioid deaths in the last several years look like across the county. Not surprisingly, Quincy was large, Stoughton was in there. Weymouth had large numbers. There were about 4 communities that had excessively high deaths. Braintree was one as well. It's $4,000. We can send it all to one community, one organizations, or we can split it up into each of these communities based on their population or some other metrics. So I'll follow the commissioner's wishes on this, but the money, meanwhile, is in the county's treasury downstairs. It has been received.
If I may, off the top of my head, not to poo-pah, we're happy to take anything, but we don't have the apparatus to work with the community as such. I would like to explore us taking our $4,000 and giving it to a needy Norfolk County town that has high numbers, whether it be Stoughton, Randolph, Dedham, Quincy, and because they must have some apparatus. They deal with it all the time.
Yeah, I concur.
It would cost
Same
us
thought.
$4,000 to get up and running and to dispense the 4,000. That's
Be nice
off
thing
the
to-
top of my head. I mean, if it was 400,000, that's a different story.
Yeah, I thought it was 400,000. I
Yeah,
was excited.
Well,
I think it
yeah,
said
I'd be
400,000. I was like,
excited too.
okay.
because
That's
we
not
could,
making-
remember the woman we had here about 3, 4, 5
Yeah.
months ago?
Yes,
You hit it right on the head.
yeah, yeah,
Maybe give it to her. I don't know,
yeah.
but I want to take it in, receipt, thank you, and get it right out to.
How about just the chairman suggest that we direct Director Cronin to look at the
Yes, that's why I asked how much that.
How about come back with top 3 and give us
Yeah, whatever.
what you're
Top
thinking, and we
one,
can kind of,
you know.
either divide it up, each one gets a little bit.
I'm
of-
sure it's going to go by size, but
Yeah,
There's
there again, I don't know.
a couple ways to look at it. I'm not an expert in this field by any means, but some would suggest that
I'm not either.
if they are large communities with large opioid deaths, they may already have existing resources.
Yeah.
And some of the smaller communities that have, a couple of these deaths may not be as well positioned.
it's good.
You could look at this as an
Yeah.
opportunity to fund those lesser funded or smaller communities as well.
Yeah.
I just asked Bill to see if he could pull that. I don't know, Bill, do you have access to that screenshot you sent me relative to the deaths by community?
Give me one moment. I will bring that up.
Thanks, Bill.
Not a subject we like to bring up
I know, I know.
but I
Tough.
tough stuff, right?
But
So
the
again,
need-
this-
The need is there. I agree with you. I totally, it's just, give it to where it's most needed or most appropriate, it's, well,
I mean, is there an avenue to pass it through? I think you said there was.
Sure. Through you, we would develop an award
Okay.
to them, much like we would.
Yeah, Quincy, Braintree, Weymouth.
wow, look at that. Yeah, but then also you look at demographic, population.
Brookline isn't there?
No, they had three.
Looks good. What about Randolph? It's usually,
Right now it's six.
Also,
They're not in the red zone.
But look, I mean, I'm not, Plainville's got 5. Well, actually, that's a small community.
Randolph's at 5?
No, Plainville is 5.
Wow.
That's a small community.
Maybe $4,000 to Plainville would go further than $4,000 to Quincy.
That's what I'm thinking.
I'd love to get money to Quincy, but Okay.
Interesting.
But Quincy had the highest number at 41,
Wow.
followed by Weymouth at 25, followed by Stoughton at 18,
18.
then followed by Braintree at 11, and then we're into the single digits after that.
Chief Stowe. How many Stowe? I can't read it. What is this?
Stoughton had 18,
18?
Dick,
Wow.
in 2020.
Goodness.
Their numbers fluctuate. Overall, the number of deaths seems to be statistically similar. 164 in 2015, up to 13. These are numbers prior to the pandemic also, so you would expect the pandemic would have had an impact. But these are the latest. This is the latest data as reported by the Department of Public Health.
Right. Sadly, it looks like Weymouth took a big jump, right?
It does.
Yeah.
They had, you can see their number in 2016, Dick, was 40, nearly as many as Quincy.
Well,
Okay, I'd like to ask John, instruct John to work with the grant and work with these numbers and perhaps pass our portion on to a town that works every day with this issue. We don't have the apparatus to work with it every day, but anything we can do.
So you want me to bring forth a recommendation for next week?
yeah, if you could, that'd be
You got
good.
it.
Yeah.
No problem at all.
We're on the same page. Yeah.
Yep. The last item, just administrative, Governor Baker, as Chairman Shea just mentioned, did pass the remote meeting option. It was extended until March 31st, 2023.
I had heard that there was some, sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
I had heard that there was a chance we're going to go to the end of December 2023.
That's correct. That
I did
was,
hear that.
That was the House version.
That's what I thought.
It's a
Okay.
compromise language.
Okay, all right. Oh, good.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's all I have.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other items? I have a couple. I have a comment on the golf course item. More than a year and a half ago, I toured the golf course with the town manager Milton, Mike Dennehy, who's gone, and Mayor Coca Quincy. We talked about general conditions, signage, parking lots. When we went by the Tot Park that we have there, the playground, Mayor Koch, being a former park director, had a conniption and said, you got to get a new park here. So we're getting a new park, and I'm very excited about it. That we promised it. And here's my thought. At the time, I was on my game, and I said, if we get a new park and do a few things, you got to help us with a few things, like a new road coming in, which he just completed, and some other work. So I'm sure there's no objection, but I'm trying to instruct the staff starting next week to see if we can't get this done for purposes of a ribbon cutting before the end of the golf season this year. So I'm looking at late August or September. We will announce all this. This includes the money we put in to do parking lot improvement, the pickleball wall, and a few other things. Wrap it all into one. Invite our area communities. Show them what we're doing at the golf course. Show them what we've done, and wrap it all into one. And then, of course, it was excellent. We're very happy the Great General Court supplemented our money because you wouldn't. And I don't know how old the golf course. I don't know how old the park is that's there, but it is old, and the benches are pretty done. So
early 70s.
okay, so
Yeah,
I mean,
tough
40
shape.
years or more.
Couldn't believe it.
I would say probably Mike Bellotti as a toddler played in that park. Did
I
you?
played tennis there in the 70s, right? 80s?
Wow.
No, it's all gonna be new by October of this year, so I'm gonna try to accelerate a little and have like a little ribbon cutting and a little day.
Could I suggest, and I don't want to single anybody out, but I think Representative Ayers was
He
instrumental.
sponsored all of this, and I
Okay,
had
good.
some
So
conversations
I
with
wanted to
him.
make sure he gets recognition and
Well-
gets included, you know.
I'm gonna cast a wide net and,
Yeah,
and, I mean, invite Milton, because the signage is new. We'll explain to everyone what we're doing. Some of it won't be completed, but once you start it, we're committed to completing it.
Perfect.
And the face of the golf course will look a heck of a lot better than it has, and it's going in the right direction. The new road and new sidewalk and everything really made a bit of difference. And the mayor, being the urban mechanic that he is, had all the water and sewer, and we had drainage issues there. He had all the lines replaced, so he won't put a new street in there and then dig it up again. So,
Good for 5 years. That is usually a rule. They don't touch it for at least 5 years.
well, ideally, yes, but sometimes, but he's really good at that. And he made good on his promise, so I'm glad we're gonna make good on us. And we'll invite them, well, maybe we'll invite Braintree too, and take some pictures, wrap it all into one.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
What do you think the chances are that Treasurer Bellotti back in the 70s wore very high white socks?
Oh, he's out there. He's
when he
out
was
there.
playing tennis on
He's not
that.
here.
I
He's
don't
out
think
there.
The tube tog, the tube
he-
socks, I think.
Did he say he played tennis on
Yeah.
this course?
Mike,
He may have.
He's outside.
did you wear the tube socks back in the day on
The
the
yellow
golf?
ones, the black stripes.
Oh, yeah.
Remember those? Big cover.
Oh, my
That was a
God.
big deal.
So we're gonna,
No, the Greek, the army jewels.
That sounds great.
I'll get it done before Labor Day. How's that sound?
That sounds
I'll give you
great.
plenty of notice.
Sounds great. Sounds
All
great.
right, number two.
Yeah.
I know that you know that the Norfolk County Superior Court, by act of the legislature, was renamed or named the William D. Delahunt Courthouse. I don't believe it's a Justice Center. I believe it's a courthouse as opposed to Quincy. With COVID and everything, it was kind of pushed to the back burner. But this spring, I was contacted by a committee which is working on a date to dedicate the courthouse to William Delahunt. I want to announce to everyone it's October 19th. It's a Sunday. I've been to 2 or 3 meetings.
My birthday.
I've opened it up to John McGowan and Bill Buckley has been instructed by Director Cronin to work on this. And we had another meeting this morning, so we're getting close. They're planning a day from 11 in the morning, speaking, unveiling of a new signage. And then they're going to go across the street to the Congregational Church for somewhat of a luncheon, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll keep everyone in the loop.
Commissioner, just
But for your purposes, the calendars, and the county is going to fully participate.
October 19th.
I
Okay.
believe it's the 16th.
The 16th.
Oh, okay.
Boy, am I glad you
Okay.
are
I
right.
thought that was different.
The Sunday is the
I'm-
16th, if it is a Sunday.
It is the Sunday. I'm sorry. It is the 16th.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Very good call.
You had me, I was like, I thought I heard 6.
I was only 3 days off.
Yeah, that's okay.
We'll hear about it again, I'm sure.
And, we'll be inviting everyone, all the department heads, and everything, but the committee is planning a big day, so.
Do you know if they, if members of the town of Dedham were present during the walkthrough? Because it occurs to me we'll likely need assistance from the Dedham Police Department.
They have not been in today. Since I brought it up today, I'm the designee to go down and see the chief. So I think I'll start with the selectman and go to the chief.
Sounds
We're
good.
going to need some help that day because they're going to close the street in the back. It's going to be in the back where we were inaugurated and use that as a forum. Shut the street off on a Sunday morning. There should be no problems. That street is a cut-through street, if that.
Mhm.
And then from there, we will instruct everyone to park behind the registry and then come in, do the unveiling, do the speeches, do the unveiling, and then we're going to walk across the street to the Congregational Church, which we toured last meeting over here where you see the everyday, what's at the farmer market on Wednesday, but there's 2 big church halls in there. And they're going to have a big gala time there.
Nice.
And because it's a Sunday, they're gonna get started here at 11 and over there by probably 12, but their services are 10 at the Congregational Church. All that has been worked out. There's a full committee. I'll carry it on the agenda and keep everyone appraised, but it is the 16th. And thank you very much. I don't want to give it the wrong date, especially since I asked them after the talk, people had been asking me, but and the date originally bounced a little because they were trying to get a certain speaker who I believe they'd gotten. So that's why it's the 16th. And I don't have anything else.
Yeah. We
Are we all
all set?
set?
Motion to adjourn?
All right, motion adjourned
All
at
in
2.
favor?
Oh, okay, yeah, fine.
Aye. This meeting is adjourned at 2:15. Thank you very much.